Whether you like to admit it or not, your favorite artist will always perform better on a feature. As we look at how a gifted MC shines when in the presence of other rappers, we will be investigating what the role of competition is, the artist dilemma in SA Hip Hop Incorporated, and most importantly, what it means to age gracefully in a young man's sport. There's a variety of ways that we, the listener, put an artist in a box, but collaboration is where they break their mold. This is The Game Unfolded, bringing you the era of the Maggz feature. Maggz, alongside many other artists, come from a time where internet platforms were not critical for an artist's development, and sheer grit was the only thing that got you noticed as you maneuver through the rat race that is the South African music industry. Cut from the same cloth as powerhouses such as Pro, the #1 Soweto boy, Maggz was able to own the race in some of his best verses by competing the only way he knows how, combining lyrical ability and the relevant subject matter in order to personify moments of pain and glory in the life of an artist. Let's run through some highlights. His verse on One Time looks at the yin and yang, then and now, what used to be and how things change, as well as the envy that comes with it all, so we should celebrate while we can. We on Fire is the wordplay, grab your nuts and state your claim talk, while Real Stuff and many others like it expresses gratitude and maturity. He never misses his mark. M.A.Dub's run in features was able to thrive due to an underlying catalyst that shaped his era, yet seems to be dying out in this generation. That catalyst is competition. The drive is seemingly no longer to be the most formidable in your craft, as the influx of the introverted artist archetype continues to surge. These artists have found their own form of motivation through collaborations without all the red tape, as well as releasing with no features, relying purely off the strength of their own fan base. This leaves us begging the question, is competition in SA hip hop still needed? Before we get into that, let's see how it works for Maggz. The way we look at it, the fuel to be the best stems from competitiveness similar to runners of a relay race. Each artist's 12 to 16 bar verse thrives to make a significant contribution to the overall track, and the chorus, bridge or break is where the artist makes the upsweep. The obvious goal being to win, however, we are looking at only one thing: what happens when you pass Maggz the baton. An unabashed display of lyrical prowess, hitting all the marks, the only way a rapper should. Nevertheless, what does staying true to the art get you? He kept it real, but is that what SA hip hop is today? Commodification culture and hip hop have almost become synonymous with one another since the beginning. But ever since it has transcended into the #1 genre in the US back in 2017, it is being consumed at historic rates, making hip hop its most versatile, most noticeable, and quite significantly most profitable. We've all heard the analogy of the pie, but we can't help but wonder if there really is enough room for every rapper to eat, which kind of brings us back to the aspect of a competitive edge within hip-hop's DNA and why it's needed. Is there enough room for everyone to eat in SA Hip Hop Incorporated? Technically yes, but the real dilemma is for how long. Let's use M.A.Dub's as a case study as we compare his career to the modern day independent artist. Imagine that it's 2008. You're an artist who has no channel to promote themselves and everything had to happen through a label. In this time, there is a barrier of entry to the music industry due to the inability to distribute your work successfully on a mass scale. Let's take an independent artist in 2022. You have your SoundCloud, Instagram, YouTube, TuneCore, but you still are limited by your relative lack of knowledge and connections. From distribution capabilities, manpower, A&R, cross-platform advertising, PR and marketing budgets, this is the bane of the independent artist in the modern era. So, let's say those countless hours in the studio have paid off.
Yeah, no, so that was like a crazy moment because I'll tell you something. When we recorded Fire, I didn't remember shit until the next day. That's how fucked we were. So like, when we did it, and at that time, like, there was no mic stand, best recorder, like, actually pants in my killer. Like,
and you found your first big hit and crafted it with the people that you want to work with.
So we out there, we're drinking Ice Up Shire. You know, Les pulls up, boom, boom. We do this record. I don't even remember because we used to like freestyle records. We used to write them quickly. You know, we wrote it quickly. Boom, I remember. Then next thing, I'm passed out in the studio. I'm passed out. In the morning when I wake up, Bongs is mixing Fire. He's like, Muzabo, Goo. I'm like, what is that? Oh. Like, what is that? F-R-R. I haven't heard my verse at that time. Yeah. Look at me. I'm like, yo, I need to go record this. Yeah. I didn't get a lot. Yo, this was last night's song. Yeah.
You are then introduced to the bureaucratic system of the label that sells the artist a story.
It was supposed to be obviously like my single, and it was supposed to be mine. And then at the time, Les was about to drop, like in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then Lance heard the record. I pulled up on me like, listen, let's have a chat about this record. I said, what is it? He's like, yo,
Lance, man.
Since Les is about to drop, let's handle it on the homies album, and you are also in it anyway. Yeah. So we'll just push and like, you know, we'll get your name big. You know, he sold me the story. I was like, you know, and Les is my homie, let's get it. I'm also part of the song. It's not like my publishing will be Les, but it's just that my imprint is not Maggz featuring Les.
Exactly.
The imprint is different. It's Les featuring Maggz. But it was supposed to be my joint. It was gonna be like, you know, my shade of like my first thing. Yeah, but yeah, man,
So now what? We can't help but wonder if things would have turned out differently for our favorite rapper's favorite rapper had bureaucracy not come in the way of an organic moment. We've looked at the past realities of the game. We looked at the present. So now, the real question becomes, what does it mean to age gracefully in the industry? What is the silver lining for the indie artist long term? There's no defined answer, but if you ask us, it is the liberation of dialogue. By having open and honest conversations, how do we as artists diversify our efforts?